Greetings, everybody. My name is Chitwan Malik, and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I am very excited today to do a brand new webinar. First, I'm going to share just a few brief slides on the cloud for those who are completely new with the cloud, or for those who need a review to just understand some of the basic essential differences and the advancements of the cloud compared to other PMF devices. And then after I show those slides, I'm actually going to go through all 16 of the cloud programs. So the cloud set comes with 5 basic programs, but Centropics has just launched an additional 11 new programs that can be accessed on your cloud. So I'm going to go through all of those. So let's just get started now. First thing always is important for me to just share the standard disclaimer. Centropics has been around since 2021, and already it has won various design awards. And this is German engineering and Swiss craftsmanship. It's award winning. We've already got 3 patents on this technology. And as you will see today, this is an advanced PEMF signal. So here's the FDA registration for the cloud and also for the bubble. So Centropics has 2 devices. One is the cloud and the other is the bubble, which I am wearing over here. But today's topic is going to be all about the cloud. So our most valuable resource, and I'm sure you will agree with me, is energy. Our energy and vitality. Energy is the foundation of everything we do. Without that, there's nothing. We can have the biggest bucket list and dreams and wishes that we would like to fulfill, but if we don't have energy or vitality, then everything feels so overwhelming. So the most important thing that we have, our most precious resource, is energy. And then if you have additional energy and extra energy, then besides taking care of your own needs, you have energy to serve others, to serve your community, your family, and all of humanity, depending on the amount of energy and will that you have. And so that's basically where Centropics fits in, because we are actually electric. Every cell in our body, every molecule in our body has an ideal electromagnetic potential. It's a current of -60 to -70 millivolts. And the minute that charge goes down, the voltage drops down. That's when you see all kinds of health conditions, and they can be given many, many different names. But the root cause is that at the cellular level, the body has lost its voltage, and it's not, the cells, the atoms are not at their ideal state. Every cell in our body, we have 100 trillion of those. That's a guess. Nobody actually counted that. And each of those 100 trillion cells is made up of 100 trillion atoms. And atoms combine to create little molecules. And it is at that level, at the level of the molecules, that PEMF and especially the cloud works. Every molecule vibrates at a specific frequency. And what the cloud does is it provides the body with a whole buffet of frequencies so that all those various molecules in the body can start vibrating and they can be energized, and then they can do what they were designed to do. There are more than 20,000 studies worldwide on PMF, and Centropics has its own study that has just come out that's extremely impressive. So, as I mentioned, our body is made up of cells, and those cells are made up of atoms and molecules. And what PMF does each time you use the cloud mat is that it activates those molecules. It gives them the charge, the electrical charge, the electromagnetic charge, so that the cascading effect can start happening, so that as a result, our cells get more energized, our tissues get healthier, our organs work better, our systems work better. And whether you're trying to improve your cardiovascular system or your musculoskeletal system, your digestive system, improve your metabolism, the cloud works at that cellular metabolism level and speeds things up so that the various systems in our body can work better. And all you need to do is just lie down. This is one of the huge benefits of the cloud versus many other different devices is that, first of all, it is so portable. You can take it with you wherever you go, and it is extremely easy to use. So all you have to do is just lie down on it. If you don't have 15 minutes, even a 5-minute cloud session will make a difference. And there are a number of people who like to use it for at least 30 minutes or even 45 minutes at a time. And they find that that gives them best results. So in fact, my mother, I was just speaking with her last night, and she told me that she likes to use it for 45 minutes twice a day. She is 77 years young, and she says the secret to her youth is using the cloud. And as I mentioned, she uses it twice a day for 45 minutes. But when you're first starting out, of course, 15 minutes a day is enough. And even if you just have 5 or 10 minutes, it's better to use it than not to use it. The difference of the cloud compared to all the other PMF devices is encapsulated in this slide. So PMF has been around for, I would say, 75 years, since 1950. And it was already well proven in 1950 that, especially for bone health, for non-union bone fractures, they found in the 1950s that PMF could be extremely beneficial. And ever since then, there's just been continued evolution, started with the square wave or the sawtooth signal that was around the 1970s. That was, of course, beneficial, but it had a very narrow spectrum, narrow band of frequencies. And then in 1998, Dr. Kafka, who we call the grandfather of PEMF therapy, he created the cloud signal. I mean, sorry, he created the beamer signal in 1998. And that's what I started using when I first got introduced to PMF. It was a fantastic device. It was a huge progress compared to other devices. And you can see with those little dots, what those dots represent is that more atoms, more molecules in the body got energized, activated as a result of that signal. And then in 2020, we got the new Cloud PMF signal, which now creates 50 times more molecular activation compared to the earlier devices. And one of those is a result not just because of the complexity of the waveform and providing the body with various frequencies, the full range from 1 hertz to 200 hertz. Those are repetition cycles. But in addition to that, Dr. Kafka created this superposition effect where the waveform superimposes on top of itself. And what that does is it now activates more atoms and molecules than anything else that in the market. It's not even possible to do more than what the cloud is doing. So you see that full access at this point. So the cloud has this full range of frequencies, and this is really important because I didn't know this earlier, but different cells, atoms, and molecules in our body, they move in different ways. So some of them stretch this way, anti-symmetric, some of them rock from side to side, some of them wag like a dog's tail. I'm going to play that again. Look at that. They go from side to side. Probably a dog's tail is made up of a lot of wagging molecules, and some of them twist, some of them scissor. So we've got this whole dance going on. This is the dance of creation that's taking place in our body. And thank God we are not aware of it at all times, because if we were aware of it, it would make us a little crazy to feel all these different movements that are going on in our body at one time. But the point is that the Centropics cloud is able to activate all of these different molecules because it provides a body for the full with the full spectrum of 1 to 200 hertz. So as a result, due to this cloud signal, people have faster results, stronger performance, and deeper impact, much more than with any other PMF or previous PMF signals. And that is due to the multiple frequencies or repetition cycles that are in the cloud signal. So over here, I have a slide, and this actually shows us the cloud signal in action. molecular activation in motion. So what we're looking at are connective tissue fibroblasts in a Petri dish. And the ones on top are without the Kloud signal, and the ones below are with the Kloud signal. And the ones below were exposed to a 15-minute Kloud signal. And this is a time lapse video, and we can see that the ones exposed to the Kloud signal, those molecules replicate and regenerate much faster. Now, fibroblast is what creates collagen, and collagen is not just for beauty or to improve wrinkles, but collagen is needed for the whole structure of the body. Collagen and fibroblasts are really important for wound healing. In order for wound healing to take place, or say even bone healing to take place, these fibroblasts need to replicate and regenerate really fast. And that's what we see is taking place with the Kloud. The main thing that the Kloud does is all you have to do is just lie down, and ideally you just want to lie down flat with your legs flat, and you're with your arms on your side. Is the first thing it does, it recharges your battery. Just the same way, we in case our cell phone battery goes down, we always panic, right? If your battery goes down to that red level, you would never leave the house, right? Without a backup plan, making sure that you have your charging wire in your car. But what about our body and the charge in our body? So what the Kloud does is we can think of it as a human charger, and it is charging your life so that you have more energy and vitality to do life. So whether it's increasing your energy, your endurance, if you do like to work out and go for long walks and exercise, this can help with recovery. This is why it's really good for all kinds of athletes, including professional athletes. The Kloud has the anti-aging effect, or I like to instead use the word graceful aging. I need to change that word. We are not against aging because that's where we gain all our wisdom, and I don't want to trade that wisdom away. We can age gracefully and enjoy vitality and energy. It can also help us to improve our concentration and focus. And that is because the brain, out of all the systems in our body, requires the most amount of ATP or energy production. So when you have more energy or ATP production, your concentration improves, your focus increases, and all those neurons can fire the way they're designed to do. This Kloud can also help with weight management, and this is because it helps to improve the metabolism right at the cellular level. It can help with muscle building. This is a concern as one gets older. Muscles start to atrophy and become weaker. And so, of course, together with resistance training and exercise, Kloud can definitely help with muscle building. And then, of course, the last two most important, stress reduction and sleep management. Everybody in the world needs this help and support to dial down that stress response. And also, people are suffering with sleep issues around the world. So, those are two of the key areas that the Kloud has actually been proven, especially with sleep, with mental exhaustion, fatigue, that it can be beneficial. The Kloud Mini, which comes with a Kloud set, both the Kloud Maxi and the Mini, you can actually fold them the same way, just like this. And each time you fold it, the signal actually becomes concentrated, the intensity increases. And you can, while you're lying on the maxi mat, you can actually place the mini mat on your tummy, on your knees, on your feet, on your legs, over your back, and even over your head. You can put it over your eyes, ears, wherever you want. Improved blood flow, improved oxygen delivery, a reduction in discomfort, in tightness. You can, in addition to using the Kloud Maxi, you can place the Kloud Mini on those areas. You can place it on your shoulder, put it around your hips. And the beautiful thing is that the Kloud Mini is so portable. You can use it in your car. You can use it on a flight. You can sit on your porch. You can sit in your living room on your favorite chair. You can sit on your dining room chair, your office chair, wherever you are, and you can use the Kloud at the same time. So it just fits your lifestyle. Here's a little example of injury and wound healing. This is actually my hand. And I personally, I have two dogs, and unfortunately, when I was taking them for a walk, they pulled me and I went flying on my hands and my knees. And oh my God, it was such a shock. It wasn't on soft grass, it was on very pokey gravel. So it really hurt everything. And it actually hurt it was like a whiplash. It hurt my spine, my hips, my neck, my shoulders. Thank God for the Kloud. Came back home, drank some water, and lay down on my Kloud mat. And I placed my arms alongside my body. Within 15 minutes, I could feel my whole body just relaxing and going from that shock sympathetic state to that parasympathetic state. So the Kloud is really important for recovery and for healing. And the sooner you do it, the better it is, so that your body can move from that stress response and go into that parasympathetic relaxed state of being. The next day, normally the injury always gets worse, but in this case, right away, the healing had already started. And even though it's looking better, I wasn't able to move my wrist or my arm as well. So the next day, while I was on my computer, I actually folded my mini and placed it next to me and just put my hand on the mini and did one more Kloud session. And the next morning, 48 hours after my injury, you could see my hand. You can already see there's just a light shade over there of the edema and the swelling, but it's already gone. So as you can see, the Kloud is absolutely priceless to have this in our homes. So I mentioned earlier that we actually have a study on the Kloud. This was the largest study on PMF that was ever done with 420 people. And this was done at the Sigmund Freud University in Vienna, in Austria, together with Dr. Kafka, Dr. Bernatsky, and my husband, Dr. Praveer Malik. He actually helped with getting the study presented and published at a Nature Springer conference. This is abstract that is already available. It's on the public domain, so we can share this. So in this study that was done with 428 participants, they especially used the fatigue scale, the sleep scale, and discomfort. And they found that results revealed statistically significant reductions in exhaustion, in improvements in mental performance, in energy level, and sleep quality. And in a key subgroup that basically these were 103 people with severe exhaustion, severe fatigue. And for them, initially, they basically had an improvement of 85%. They had a reduction of severe exhaustion by 85%. So this shows that the Kloud PMF, it really offers clinically significant benefits for enhancing your life force, your resilience with absolutely no side effects, no adverse effects. And this is why it's so important and essential. And I'm going to look at the chat and let's see if we've got somebody on the call who would like to share their experiences.
Hi, Chitwan. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Well, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I have no problem with it, of course. I'm the first one who's always announcing my age. So you just did that already, 77 in 2 weeks. I do like other physical activities, such as Tai Chi. As a hobby, I do flamenco dancing with two different teachers. So which is about 3 classes a week. And without my Kloud, I would not be able to do any of this. Absolutely not. Because I do have a constant, in fact, it's becoming inconstant now, a hip pain that comes up now and then. I don't know what happens, and then the pain moves into my thigh, which is can get extreme. And I lie down on the Kloud. That's the reason I lie down on it as much as I do, about 45 minutes a day minimum. And when I have a class the next day, or either my Tai Chi or my flamenco class, then I do 45 minutes twice a day. I am really living the best of my life thanks to this device. I cannot imagine what my life would be without it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's go over the 16 cloud programs. These are the 5 programs that actually come with the cloud. You can use them manually. The 5 programs are Relax, Balance, Energize, Synchronize, and Transform. Program 1, Program 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these 5 programs are the most important programs. They are for every life situation. I'm going to show you a few slides, and in those slides, the intensity is going to be represented by the green dotted line, and the frequency is going to be represented by the red line. So, relax is something that actually is really good when you're stressed. When you're stressed, you're worked out, maybe you had a phone call with a client that was stressful, or a family member that was stressful, or just you've spent the whole day out in traffic and you've just come home. Relax basically takes you from that sympathetic stress state down to the parasympathetic relaxed state. So it kind of brings you down. Recently, there was somebody who'd had a very long 6-hour surgery, and when they came back home, they just could not relax and go to sleep. No matter what they tried, they weren't able to go to sleep. This man, his wife is a doctor. She actually called me to ask me, she said, "What do I do? I've been using Balance, Synchronize, but it's not helping him." So I told her to use Relax because it's a program she never used to use, but that actually took her husband post surgery right from that sympathetic state down to the parasympathetic state. So as you can see down here, it says that the relax starts at a high repetition rate. So when I talk about frequency over here, it means repetition rate. How many times in a second does the signal repeat itself? So 130 hertz means that the signal repeats 130 times in a second. I can't clap that fast. Um, and then gradually goes down to just a second, 1 hertz. So you can understand that. So relax brings you from that stress state, and it helps you unwind, gets into a peaceful state, so that then you can enjoy an optimal sleep or just enjoy being relaxed. The next program is balance. So notice here, instead of starting from 130, it actually starts from 1 and then goes up to 130 hertz. So it's the opposite of relax. And balance is actually one of my favorite go-to programs. You can notice that the intensity is not so high. It's a very mid-range intensity. The frequency starts at this lower level and then goes up to a mid level, not all the way to the highest level. And balance helps you to get into a good flow. When I use it, especially at the lower intensities, intensity 1 and 2, I can actually feel my lymph flow, blood flow. Um, I can sense movements in my body at the low intensities, interestingly, not at the high intensities. Let me know in the chat if you too feel some sensations. And if you don't feel anything, that's fine. My husband doesn't feel any sensations when he's using the cloud, but he experiences the good results in the end, and which is it puts him to sleep right away. The next program is Energize. This now starts at mid-range frequency and goes really high. It also is at a very high intensity and a high frequency. In addition to the frequency and intensity, this program also has Strauss's Radetzky March, which is very famous and well known. It's very energizing beat. And that's also included in this program 3, Energize. And it plays for 3 minutes in the minute. And music has an important effect on our body. So it really gets our body going. And then the Energize program also has the entrainment effect. Both it increases the heart rate and the breath rate. So if you want to relax, I wouldn't recommend the Energize program. But if you want to boost yourself, you want to start your day with some energy, if you're feeling very sluggish and you need to go to for a dance party, or you want to go out for the evening and you don't feel like, then that's a good time to use Energize to give you that boost to get going and to do whatever you're supposed to do. That's when Energy is a good program. But I'm going to share something very contradictory now. That is, sometimes there are people who are so tired and so exhausted that none of the programs help them to fall asleep except energize. So I've heard this situation a few times. It's especially people, these are the same people who can drink coffee at bedtime and it's not a problem for them and they can go to sleep. Or these are people, sometimes you may have experienced that you are extremely exhausted, that you're too exhausted to sleep. Have you ever experienced that? If yes, please write that down in the chat. I'd love to hear that there are other people who've experienced that. I have experienced that a couple of times. So those times actually it was energized that would help the person to fall asleep because it gives them that extra energy they need to relax. So it's very contradictory, but that can happen too. So as you can see, there's no cookie cutter formula or protocol. This is not like a pharmaceutical drug that we can say for this condition, use this program, for this condition, use that program. People ask me that question all the time, but everybody's different, and you need to like just let your intuition kick in and be very intuitive with the programs. The next program is Synchronize, and this is a program with a low intensity. As you can see, the intensity is low and the frequency is low. It ranges from 1 to 60 hertz, and this is ideally for people who want to relax. They want to bring their heart rhythm to normal. Supposing their heart rhythm is racing, they want to bring it down to synchronize it to the natural heart rhythm. That's what Synchronize is good for. This is for mental clarity, emotional harmony, and this is also good for if somebody's ill or they've just, say, had a surgery, or they have a fever, or they're not feeling well, or it's a young child. Um, with ADHD or other neurological issues, or even elderly people with neurological issues, then this would be a good program to initially to use just to kind of calm down and relax. And when somebody first buys a Kloud, we generally tell them to either use program to balance or program for synchronize. And after they've used those programs for a while, then we tell them that they can play around and use other programs. And now the last program, Transform, that comes in your Kloud set. This you can see has a high frequency and a high intensity. And actually, this is a program with the highest frequency. It goes up to 200 hertz. It actually starts with 200 hertz and then gradually comes down to 1 hertz. And this is a program that generally is everyone's favorite program. They find that this is their go-to program, that it helps them recover fast, it helps them regenerate. If someone's got a bone fracture, if someone's got an injury, this is the one that helps to replicate the cells. Remember, I showed you the video of the fibroblast replicating and regenerating really quickly? That was using the transformer. They actually used Energize on one Petri dish and transformer on another Petri dish, and they found that the transformer cells regenerated much faster than even the cells that were getting the Energize program. So that's good to know that this is the one, the best for wound healing, for regeneration, and this has the highest range of frequencies. Perhaps that's why this is everybody's favorite program. When I use it, I can right away feel um, a nitric oxide release. I can feel my blood vessels dilating and an increase in blood flow. And if my when I wake up in the morning, especially when I use Transform, I can feel my sinuses opening up and that dilation that takes place. So that's what I enjoy Transformer for. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the new information, and especially for all the Kloud owners, and also for future Kloud owners. We now have this is a free option that everybody has, and that is to use the repeat button. This is the repeat button over here, and when you press the repeat button, it basically repeats the program. It continues to repeat the program till you stop it. So if you're going to use it at bedtime, it's either going to keep going on till you stop it, or if the battery finishes. So one of the two, whichever one happens faster, it'll stop at that point. And so this is a new feature. If you're going to start it initially, I recommend that's just using it for, say, 45 minutes, setting an alarm on your phone, because you can't end it in 45 minutes. With the repeat feature, it'll just keep going. So you can set an alarm on your phone and you can end it at 45 minutes or an hour. Or if you're an experienced seasoned cloud user, you can try using synchronize all night until the battery finishes. I don't recommend keeping your cloud connected to the charger wire while you're using it. And the reason for that is that the wall has all this, the electricity from the wall has all this dirty electricity, and it has this EMF radiation, which you don't want to be exposed to while you're using the cloud. So charge your battery and then use the cloud. Don't leave it charging all night, because you're also getting the electrical field that's in your wiring system if it's charging at the same time. And now I'm going to discuss the optional features. So now the 11 new cloud programs. We are super excited that Dr. Kafka, the grandfather of PMF therapy, has been working behind the scenes for the past year and a half, and he has created these first 5 new programs. And this is the body rhythm, flow, nature, Body Electric, and High Five. There's an option just to buy Dr. Kafka's programs, or you can buy all of them, 11 of them. These 6 programs, the beamer signal, but without superposition and with superposition. This was Dr. Kafka's 1998 signal. Now you have the beamer signal also available in your cloud. This is the 1970 signal, the sawtooth signal that devices such as the IMRS have. This is, or Dr. Pollack's devices, that is also available now in your cloud. And also the 1950 signal, the foundation signal, the most PMF devices in the world have, which is the basic signal, is a square wave, that is also available. But for all of these signals, Dr. Kafka gave them, you can use them in its pure form, or they can use it with superposition where the waveform is superimposed. So you can use beamer with superposition and experience that with this new feature. And this is why we call it the all-in-one PMF device. People no longer need to make a choice between X waveform or Y waveform. You can have all of them in your cloud. And yeah, there's no more decisions or choices. And all of you who have the cloud or will be getting the cloud have access to the full development in the PMF field in your cloud. So this is absolutely brilliant. And I'm sure you are very excited about this, as I am. I'm going to talk now about these 11 new programs. Okay, so let's get started with program 6, Body Rhythm. This has a repetition rate or a frequency rate of 5 hertz to 30 hertz, but notice that the intensity is high. And with this program, in addition to that, we also have an entrainment effect of all the different body rhythms. And that's why it's called the body rhythm. It entrains the breathing rate, the step rate, the heartbeat rate, and the pulse rate, and the blinking rate. So all of these various rhythms that we have in our body, it basically synchronizes them and brings them to normal. So this is called the body rhythm. The next one, those of you who enjoy music and dancing will find this one really interesting. Now, the frequency on this program is very low. It's just 8 hertz. The intensity is high. And in this, we actually, every 3 minutes, there's a different tune that's playing. So the base signal is only 8 hertz, but for the first 3 minutes, we've got the tango playing. The next 3 minutes, we've got swing, then boogie, then waltz, then rumba. And you get to dance, your cells get to dance to all that different music that's in this program, and it's called the flow. Here, it can help you feel more energetic, it can help you get in the flow, feel more vibrant. And this is more for like an active an active phase or active state. So personally, I wouldn't use this at bedtime unless you want to dance into your sleep, then you might want to use it. Feel free to experiment. Okay, the next one is my favorite program, my new favorite program. It keeps changing. And this is called Nature. And this, as you can see, has very low frequencies from 7 hertz to 33 hertz. And it has a higher intensity. And these are the frequencies that exist in nature. So it helps you, it's the Earth's very calming frequencies, the frequencies that exist on planet Earth. And they are very grounding. It's ideal for regeneration after a demanding day. It's helpful to center yourself after an intense mental phase, or even in times of intense sensory overload. Nature can help you feel very grounded and centered. Out of all the programs, this is a program that I like to use at bedtime, and I find that it's very calming and very relaxing. The next one is body electric. And this one actually helps to stimulate the bioelectrical communication and in our brain, and it also helps to support mental clarity, improve focus, attention, and brain coherence. Because this one, the repetition cycle is from 1 to 90 hertz. The first few minutes, you've got birds chirping. So if you start hearing birds chirping, don't worry. It's actually, well, that's a joke because you actually won't hear it. But that's in your Kloud program. Then the next 3 minutes, it's the gamma waves, then theta waves, relaxation waves, and concentration waves. So that's what you're getting exposed to with the body electric, because it helps with the bioelectrical coherence of the brain. And I like this program too. I find that this one also, initially, I find it activating when those birds are chirping. I find it more wakeful, but by the end, it really calms me down and I can feel that brain coherence effect. Next one is the high five. This goes all the way to 1,000 hertz. And this is the new program which has a very high intensity and it's pure energization. So some people actually don't even feel the high intensity doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to feel it, because high intensity also means it goes deep down into your bone level. Some people really feel it. Others don't feel it at all at the higher intensities. They actually feel it at the low intensity. And this is pure energization. This is the Kloud signal at a repetition of 1,000 hertz. And it expires. So basically, remember, transform program 5, the current transform program goes up to 200 hertz. This is boosted 5 times that. So it goes all the way to 1,000 hertz. And this provides a maximum density that goes down to that deep bone cartilage level and structural depth in the body because of that high intensity. So these are the 5 new programs that Dr. Kafka's created. And now we have the Beamer signal, which is now also available. This is the Beamer signal always just stayed at the 30 hertz. And there isn't that range of frequency, just stays at 30 hertz, but you also have access to it. This is the pure Beamer signal that Dr. Kafka created in 1998. The worldwide Beamer patent has expired, and that's why we can have it now in a Kloud mat. And now Dr. Kafka added an additional boost. He actually added the superposition. That's why you see these 2 pink lines. So it's superimposed on top of each other. And this is the optimized version of the classic signal developed by Dr. Kafka in 1998. So this gives you greater depth and greater frequencies, and it gives you 30 hertz to 50 hertz. So it goes, a little bit higher than the pure Beamer signal. So you can enjoy that too. Now, the next one is the sawtooth signal. This is now also available to us in the Kloud. So basically, you can see that all the waveforms that exist in all PMF devices are available to us now in the Kloud through the help of the app. Dr. Kafka's added a range of 1 through 50 hertz in this, and it has low intensity, low frequency, and we have that available. And then we have the sawtooth signal with the superposition effect also, so that it has more depth and more variation in frequencies. Next is the foundation or the square wave signal that was discovered in 1950. A lot of PMF devices just use this basic signal, and now we have access to that. The square wave in its pure form or the square wave in its with superposition. Dr. Kafka added his patented feature to that too. So that said, those are the 11 new programs. So what we're looking at over here in this slide is that this is a glass of water that was placed on top of a Wi-Fi router. And then Dr. Masaru Emoto's head researcher, Rasmus Gaup, who lives in Austria, Vienna, he still conducts those experiments that Dr. Emoto used to. And he took that a drop of the water and he froze it, magnified it 200 times, and looked at that water that was exposed to Wi-Fi and see how it's clustered up. And then he took the same glass of water and he put it on top of the cloud mat. And this time, or you can wrap your cloud around the water. And then he exposed it to the cloud signal for 15 minutes. Again, took a drop of water from that glass, froze it at first, and then right on top of that molecule that was frozen, this beautiful design appeared. And so this shows the power of frequencies. I think Dr. Emoto has well described already. There are so many books, cards, videos on how water holds frequency and it changes the structure of water. And so I invite you all to take your favorite program and wrap a big glass bottle or take 3 or 4 bottles of water and wrap your cloud around it and use transform or balance, whatever you like, and see how the water changes. We are 75 to 80% water and we are constantly exposed to Wi-Fi. So we'd rather become like these beautiful gems and jewels over here, more aligned and in harmony. So that is something that also happens to us. And this is why we feel more coherent and more harmony and more peace after we've used a cloud session. And now I just want to look at the chat. Mudita shared that her energy has improved, her back feels better, overall pain management, and she has experienced improved sleep quality. And Mudita also said that she doesn't feel any sensations but mega results. So that's really important. Just because if you don't feel anything doesn't mean it's not working, but the results can be incredible. The thing is that each time you use a program, your body changes. You're never going to have the same experience again, because I've experienced that sometimes I've loved a certain experience on a certain intensity on a certain program, and then I want to have that same experience again, but I don't get that same experience again because Dr. Kafka explained to me that my body has already changed with each program. You can never, like they say, you can't jump into the same river twice. I think it's the same with the cloud experience. So that's why it's fun to experiment, and we have so many options. And there was a question in the chat that do these programs have the 5 intensity choices? Absolutely, yes. So all these 11 programs, you can use them at the lowest intensity, intensity 1, or at the highest intensity, intensity 5. And you're going to feel something completely different at the lowest intensity, and you're going to feel something different at the highest intensity. And each time you do it, you're going to feel something different. So I invite you to try it, to have fun, and to experience the new gift from Dr. Kafka that we've all received, these 11 new programs. And yeah, keep your own notes and share with us. My favorite is program 7, Nature, because Nature and Body Electric are my 2 favorite programs because those just really relax me and calm my whole system. So those are my go-to favorite programs. And Rohini, I liked what you shared. I'm just going to read the comment for those who can't see it. Rohini wrote, I use different programs on different days. I tune in and intuitively decide. I feel very grateful to have all of them for differing needs of the body and mind. And that is fantastic. That is actually the best way. Open yourself, allow yourself to listen to your own intuition and just use those different programs very intuitively. So that's all for now, folks. If there's any other questions, comments, let me know. Thank you for joining.